Good morning. I had promised you that I was going to do a walkthrough on the dashboard so that you could become more familiar with it. So without any further ado, I'd like to get started. And initially, when you want to log in, you make sure that you either go to the Power of Patients login page or to your registration page. Once there, you can see that you can either register or sign in. So we're an existing user. We already have our information loaded and we're going to just click login. And initially, Sally brings you to your dashboard, a very simple page for you to track and manage your symptoms. Now, I have tracked for today, but I'm going to go back a day to show you that you have the option to go backwards. Obviously, you can't go forward in time. A little bit of information about up here. Here's our home button where we are. Our media tab, which is where we keep all of our videos that we have done for our different webinars and information. So if you ever need to have a quick review, we'll host it here. And I will upload the video that I'm doing today for you here as well. And then here are the reports, which are new reports from what you are accustomed to that we are about to release, and our help buttons. So you just type in your email, your name, and what it is that you need help with, and you hit submit. So that's the layout of our tabs up on top. We're going to go back to our home page and we're going to log in for today, which I already did if you remember. So I'm going to go backwards to May 27th. I'll go to last Saturday, and this is the symptom that I am tracking, blurred vision. And today I have a good bit of blurred vision, and so I just randomly clicked wherever I felt like. This goes from 0, no blurred vision, all the way to 100, which is the worst. So you can see that boxes pop up when there's been a certain increase. And that's important for us to know, what do you think happened to cause your vision to blur? That's what I'm tracking in this case. It might be balance issues for you. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you think about, why am I having blurred vision in this case? And I know that typically if I don't sleep well, my eyes cannot focus well. So I know it's related to sleep. So I'm going to just jot a little note down. I had very poor sleep last night. And I simply click save. And it's just that simple. Now I'm also tracking depression. I don't feel very depressed today, so I'm feeling like I'll be down on this side. And I was given, hey, this is great. What did you do to get better? And I don't really have a specific thing that got me better, but I do know that I've just been very careful about not overwhelming myself. So I'm just going to say something like, I haven't done too many tasks at one time, not feeling overwhelmed. And I can go back and fix my spelling or not, and I click save. And then the next symptom is brain fog and lack of focus. And I'm kind of here today, like middle of the road. Obviously, there was not a change, so I just click save, so I don't have to answer anything else. And that's as simple as it is for tracking your symptoms. Now, the triggers, if you remember, we have triggers when we go on different panels: wellness, travel, screen, environmental, dietary, family, or life. So you literally just click through each one to see what seems to be bugging you today. And it isn't that we want you to say, this trigger caused this symptom to go up. It's more, what did you do today? So if you see, we're asking you this question, what did you do? Well, I have had a lot of caffeine and I do have some muscle pain. Travel. What did I do for travel? I did a lot of walking on that Saturday. Screen time. I didn't have much computer work on the screen time or anything like that. I took the day off. Environmental. Well, it was really hot and it was also very bright out. We also have poor air quality because there's some fires coming around. Bright sun, like I said, that was enough of the environmental. I didn't really have anything else. So I'm going to go to dietary. And again, what did I do today? Um, I didn't eat very well. I have food allergies, and so I probably had too much sugar and gluten, and that's not good. And I had some processed foods, and that causes my allergies to kick up, which is not always fun. And then family or life events. What happened with kids, work, friends. And I can tell you that, it's always very difficult to do my tasks and stay on task when everybody's pulling at you. But sometimes my children will drive me crazy. So that's really kind of all I have. And again, you can move up and down with the slide. And remember, you can always skip something if you don't want to do it. I'm going to click save. And now my triggers have been collected. So I've now tracked, and if you notice, I now have this new wave coming in. So you can see my overall trend for this past week in review. And when I hover over certain things, I can start to see what are the triggers associated with these days. Now, I can also click on this chart here, SDOH, and this tells me what triggers over this past week seem to be coming up a lot. So here it is, the dietary one. And I can come down here, and this is the environmental one. So you can see the colors will coordinate to that. And here, it's the wellness one, okay? So very simple to give you more of a review of what's gone on. So now remember, I'm tracking on this day, the 27th. So this is our week in review, excuse me. These are our triggers for that week in review. And then these are additional reports, which we're about to add. So I'm not going to go there yet, but we're going to be adding these new reports to give you even more summary scores. So just to give you a sneak peek, if I click on my overall feelings, now you get to see what's going on with a much more holistic view that's easier for you to understand. And up here, we can go by 30 days, or I can do 90 days in review, and you can see how the charts will change. I can go to 120 days. I can go to 5 days, and you can export this. But we're going to go back to the home page, which is your dashboard, and we're going to do a couple of more things. So let's pretend I just remembered something I wanted to report. And I wanted to report that I didn't take my vitamins or medications. And so that's something that maybe had an influence. So I'll just type it in. I forgot to take my vitamins. And that's just something, again, for us to use to help Sallie really help you identify what are certain problems and or conditions that help your situation. So before we continue with inviting the health provider and the messages, I can always edit my notifications and I can edit goals. That's over here on the left side of the page. If I want to change my goals, I simply click on that edit button. And it isn't, really that good to say sleep better because it doesn't give me something to really strive for. And maybe I should actually have my goal really correspond to what I'm tracking. So I'm tracking brain fog and double vision. So let's start to look at the brain fog. I want to track the brain fog better. And it could be, again, something as simple as only drink coffee in the morning or something like that. It's something that is personal enough to you and important enough for you to accomplish. So let's say instead of trying to overwhelm my body and do 10,000 steps a day. Maybe I want to do something as simple as walk, let's say a quarter mile 2 to 3 times a day. Let's just see if I can do that. And my third goal is just to be aware of any changes. I kind of like that because it's starting to make me think, and I can use that reporting feature better. So I'm just going to click save. So now I've changed my goals. So you can add your goals or change your goals. And then notification preferences. If I want to have Sallie come and get me only the first and third or the second and fourth or whatever it is, whatever weeks of the month, every week of the month, and I can just click all the buttons that I want, or I can unclick them. And again, I can change the AMs to the PMs, and maybe I want to track at 10 a.m. every day, and I simply click save. And so that's successfully changed. And now you can see that is all set. And I go back to my home tab. And that's really how simple it is. So again, you can edit your goals here. You can edit your notification when Sallie comes to get you. You can select a different day. Now, right now, you can see I've tracked for these days, but if I wanted to track on the 28th, I would just simply click on the 28th and I start tracking for that day. Now, before I do that, I have my messages up here. I can invite a provider and I have a message. Well, what's also interesting is that when it's green, that means I have something from somebody. So these are the providers that I am connected with: provider by patient, Lugerina, provider test. And again, these are just test providers. So I'm going to look at these one by one and say, okay, what do we have here? I'm going to send a message to provider test. That's what I've decided to do. So I have a connected user and I can send a message and go back to my dashboard. The little pop-up box will pop up so that my new message can come in. And then I can also invite a new provider. So if I have a provider, and let's say it's going to be Lynn at powerofpatients.com, and I simply send in my provider link, and that's it. That's how simple. Now my provider has to accept it, and that might be part of the conversation of the engagement process. So that's really how simple it is, Glenn, in order to go ahead and start tracking and understanding the dashboard. Let me know what else I can do for you, and I am happy to do that. Thank you.